This is the 2022 Chevrolet Bolt EUV. It is not the Bolt EV, which is improved, but this is the EUV, and we're going to take it for a drive. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Lauren Fix. If this is your first time to the channel, we do a lot more than very cool car reviews. We give you first looks at new vehicles as they are coming out, and we give you car smarts because we believe knowledge is power. We want to help you save a few dollars, so make sure to subscribe and click that little bell so you don't miss anything. This is the 2022 Bolt EUV. This is an all-electric vehicle from General Motors. Now you've seen the Bolt EV, which is new, and we'll do that in a separate review. This is the EUV and has more room. It has newer technology, and it has a lot of cool things that you haven't seen before. Let's take it for a drive. Under the hood of this vehicle is nothing. The front hood area is all processors, and you cannot open under that hood area, although it looks like you can. And I said, can I get under there? He said, no, you can't get under there. So that's okay. So all the batteries underneath the vehicle, that's a part of the design so that you have all that area. I'm surprised they didn't make the front area a front trunk like you see in the Mach E, and you can check out that review right up here. This is a 200 horsepower car with 266 pound-feet of torque, and of course it is fully battery operated. The one thing that gives you performance and also great fuel economy is this one pedal drive. Now in the past Bolt EVs, you had to turn it on, press the button, pull the switch twice. People got frustrated because every time they got in the car, they had to go back to that setting. Well, you don't have to do that any longer. It stays in that setting. It's right behind the drive button. You press the button and it stays as a one pedal drive, even in reverse, until you shut it off. So I think that's really smart because one pedal will give you the best usage of energy, it'll give you the best regeneration, and so you're going to get the best of all worlds if you like driving in one pedal. And if you haven't done that, you should try it before you say, I'm going to do it, because it is a really different experience. It's almost that golf carty feeling. I hate to put it that way, but it's one of those things that you have to get comfortable with. If you're really looking to get the most out of the battery, there is a regen button here. It's a paddle on the left. Typically, that would be the paddle shift. There is a sport mode as well. The range on the battery is 250 miles. Again, there are some impacts that would change that. That would be the cold weather, whether you're running a lot of accessories, because everything's electric. You have to keep that in mind. But the range that is expected for this vehicle, and we haven't driven it the full battery life, is 250 miles. You can use the standard DC charging, and there's different adapters, and that comes with it. And so that's a really nice little thing that they're giving you all the adapters that you will need for at least the 2 levels of charging. It really feels like a gasoline-powered vehicle that you might be used to. So if you're thinking about going electric, you want to take one of these for a drive. And when it comes to performance, pretty impressive. It earns a 9. You're looking at handling. There is no real changes to the Bolt EV of previous. This is the same, the EUV underneath, as a Bolt from the past. The only thing is no all-wheel drive. Some of the competitors do have that. So if you think all-wheel drive is something you would like, you might want to look at a different option. However, this is front-wheel drive only. I really like the drive-by-wire. The steering is a little tighter than it was in the predecessor, because remember, this is kind of sort of the same vehicle. Nice beefy steering wheel, good grip. Brakes are excellent, of course, because when you have it in regen, it feels like it'll throw you through the windshield. You get used to that right away, and that's, again, the more you own any of these cars, the more comfortable you're going to be with them. But as far as the handling and the ride, it's super quiet in these cars. So if you're worried about road noise, you don't hear very much. It's pretty impressive overall. And when it comes to handling, it earns a 9. There are a ton of safety features in this car. Now, Chevy has the safety assist system. So a couple times I got close to some other cars because I tend to drive a little more aggressively than the average person, and it put this red light up in front of me, say, hey, pay attention. So if you need that extra nanny, as I call it, you will like that it is there. You've got forward collision warning. Of course, you got your backup camera, your round view cameras. You've got your emergency braking, follow distance adjustments. You've got the Super Cruise, which is very, very cool. In addition, there's lane departure warning, there's follow distance control and telebeam, front pedestrian traffic, and then also available. Now, this is one of the things I wish was standard, is cross traffic alert, the adaptive cruise control, and the surround view camera. I'm just really liking this car. It's totally different than the other vehicles that are on the market, and I think you almost have to drive every single one to get a feel for what's going to make you feel comfortable, because that's what safety is really all about, because that is a top priority when you're driving this vehicle every single day. When it comes to safety for this Chevy Bolt EUV, it's earning a 9. When you're looking at visibility, this is part of safety. Now, you may not think that, but 80% of your driving decisions are based on visibility. And looking out the front, there's a big piece of glass, really easy to see the road, no limitations, nice low sills, which I personally prefer, and adjustable height seat belts. You can adjust them up and down. Really important so this belt is not cutting you across the neck. Now, let's take a look out the back. Now, typically, if you just flip this little switch and you look out the back, you just see 2 headrests in the way. But standard on all Bolt EUVs and on Bolt EVs is one of the smartest things I've seen. It is a camera. It's a 180-degree camera. It is right here in your rearview mirror, and it's really a nice feature. When you're looking at visibility as a whole, if it did not have this backup camera, it probably would have only got a 5. But because this camera is built in standard on every single vehicle, it earns an 8. When it comes to seating, the seats are all new. That was one of the things that previous Bolt customers complained about. They are kind of tight on the bottom cushion. I'm not a very large person on the bottom half, but you can feel that it's kind of limiting. So you need to sit in this seat to see if it fits your style. It is wider across the back, so if you're a bigger person, it would be more comfortable. There is 2-way lumbar on the driver's side, and also there's some adjustments that go forward and back. You can see pretty normal, pretty basic, nothing unusual, up and down, as well as adjusting the back. But then go over to the passenger side, and it's literally manual everything. Moving it back and forth, lateral adjustment, everything is manual, cranking it the old school way. I understand that when you're in this price point, you have to consider that, but you also need to consider who's sitting in that passenger seat. Let's take a look at the second row and we'll give you a rating. As we head back into the second row, I've got the seat set for me, and there's pretty good knee room. There's an extra 3 inches of space on the floor versus the regular Bolt. So it's on the same chassis like we were saying in handling, but you'll also note when you're looking at headroom, I'm 5'8", so there's pretty good distance. So we're all built differently. I'm short in the torso and long in the legs, which isn't great when the seat's further back, but you also have to watch how it fits with you. We're all built differently. Room for 2 car seats, and when you pull down this center console, there's 2 cup holders, no pass-through. It's a 60-40 split rear seat. In addition, there is 2 outlets, a USB-C and a USB. There's nothing else back here. There's no ventilation. There's no extra storage other than in the doors, but there is a Bose audio system back here. And when you're looking at seating overall, I'm disappointed that the passenger seat is literally manual, and for seating, it earns a 5. The technology inside the new Bolt EUV is really nice. So improved over the previous Bolt EV, starting with the center screen, large center screen. You've got wireless Apple CarPlay. I connected my phone up, super easy. Everything that's usable through Apple CarPlay and apps is connected right away. And one of the nice things about this center screen is it moves quickly, so the processor is improved over the previous generation. Now, when you hit the home screen, you have a combination of what you want to listen to, your maps and so forth. You want to go back to that Apple CarPlay. Pretty easy to do, just hit your phone, works no problem whatsoever. Now, one of the other things I like about this is it gives you other information about the vehicle itself depending upon what you're looking for. The one thing you also have is your charging information, where to get it plugged in and what electricity and level 1, level 2. Really great information. There's so much on this that if you have questions, put it in the comments below, because we could spend a day here going through all the neat technology, the apps and so forth. Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, standard Wi-Fi hotspot, standard satellite radio, all this is great. And of course, OnStar, one of my absolute favorite technologies. But this is as close as you're going to get to autonomous driving. This is called Super Cruise. It's been around for a long time. It is an option on the EUV. If you want to use Super Cruise and you've never used it before, we have done a video on Super Cruise and what it can do. So on the Cadillac, it's going to be the premium. This is going to be an level 2, maybe 3 of hands-free. You have to keep your eyes on the steering wheel. If you take your hands off the wheel, your eyes off the road, the vehicle's going to start slowing down, and it's going to tell you your responsibility is to have this, your hands on the wheel, maybe give you a second to grab a drink, but you really have to keep your eyes on the road. How does it work? You put on your active cruise control, part of that safety feature, and then the left side of your steering wheel, you press this button So what happens is the steering wheel now starts to take over. You see it's green. My hands are hovering over the wheel. It's really cool. It's a driver assistance feature. It is not self-driving. I'm ready to grab that at any time, which you should be as well. But what it does is it gives you a little bit, it's either comfortable or uncomfortable. I think it's really cool technology, the fact that it needs road lines. Not every road is mapped. Not every state allows for this. So just a good thing to know, but it does work. I mean, it is really cool. See, it's making little adjustments. It's kind of cool. So that green line tells you you're fine. If it turns yellow, you better grab the wheel. If it turns red, it's going to shut off, and it's your responsibility. This is a driver assistance feature. I'm just going to emphasize that, but it is really cool technology. Now, as this thing is showing you how to drive, it is neat. It is something that's really cool. Does it help save fuel economy is something that somebody has asked me. I think it can if it's a cruise control, but if it's constantly adjusting its speed based on the speed limit and constantly making a lot of adjustments, it's sort of a here nor there. But I think if you get good at using the Super Cruise and you're good at using cruise control properly and not using it when it's raining and icy outside, you're going to get, now look, a car just pulled in front of me. It's going to slow me down. So it knows the distance. So it's actually paying more attention than I am. Well, not really. But the idea is that this is a new way for people to get comfortable with technology. I'm going to keep showing you some of this technology because there's so much of it in this car, including the 2 levels of charging that are available. There is a lot of features available. When you're looking at technology overall, especially when you add in the Super Cruise as an option, it's not going to be on every car. I get that. It earns a 9 without question, especially when you add an OnStar and all the rest of the cool things, how they all integrate, really well thought out. When you're looking at features, there's a lot of neat features. You've got heated and ventilated seats are available, as well as heated steering wheel. Also, other features to think about is there's leather seats and an EUV. Now remember, it does start at a low price, and we'll talk about that at the end. When you load it up, like this vehicle, first edition, every option of the sun, you're looking at like $43,000. You will get tax credits, so you have to, again, do your homework on that. Adding in the Super Cruise, of course, jacks up the price. Do you need it? No. Is it cool? Oh yeah, it's cool. It's cool stuff. It's going to be part of you getting used to the conditioning to get used to the next level, I guess. Part of some of the other features that are nice here is you've got a big 10-inch screen here, and you got a little screen in front of you, but that's all you need. With that truck next to me, I really want to grab the wheel. It has all the information you need. It's really easy to use. You've got the ability to do the regen brakes here, and of course, as we talked about in performance, you've got the pedal in the center. For the one pedal drive, you can leave on all the time if that's you really want to get the most battery life. As far as the redesigned interior, nice premium materials. The seats that are cloth are a little but you know, it's not supposed to be a $100,000 car. I love the new design. I really like this car because I don't think you feel like I'm driving something that's odd. You're driving something that you feel comfortable in. All the stalks are where you're used to, the lights are where you're used to, the window lifts, the door adjustments, all that is here where you're used to. There is no memory seat available on this vehicle. Going down to the center screen, it's big, it's got everything that you need. We talked about that in technology. All of your climate controls are here. Super easy to use, very intuitive. I gotta keep looking down the road. It's really a weird feeling. Wireless charging as well as USB-C and USB charging. So there's like 3 different ways to charge, and there's charging outlets all over the place because my rule, ABC, always be charging. Further down, you've got a performance mode, which I find amusing because it's got a little checkered flag. Your regular drive mode, and then of course you can have the lanes. You can pick certain parts of the safety features that you want to use. Going down the middle, your prindle is buttons, and it's nice and clean and clear for that. So you get your park, reverse, neutral, drive, low. On the right, you got a little spot for your key, and all that's on that key is nothing more than just that little bow tie logo for Chevrolet. Further back, you've got your parking brake, 2 cup holders, and a small center console. It's not a luxury car. Is it an efficient car? Yes. Did they do a great job redoing it? Absolutely. The Super Cruise to me is something that you get used to. Notice now I'm feeling pretty comfortable with it. It's sort of weird. You do have to get used to it because it's not going to go over the speed limit. So if you're a lead foot, you will not be speeding because You have to do that with the Super Cruise off. It's not going to let you go over the speed limit. And again, it's showing the regen at the same time, and with the battery power information that I have, knowing that the temperature is outside, this is a really nice sweet spot temperature in that mid 40s, so you're going to get the maximum battery capacity. Note that when it's really, really cold or really, really warm, it's going to hurt your batteries. When you're looking at features and what's available, it's pretty impressive. Could there be more? Yeah, there needs to be some adjustments that are power on the passenger side, even as an option. And I'd like to see some vents in the back seat so those people get some airflow. But other than that, overall for features as a whole, and the standard sunroof, which is good size for this vehicle, and it's a power roof, by the way, power cover, I give it a 9 for features. When you're looking at the design of the Bolt EUV, you're going to see a couple neat things that you didn't see on the Bolt before. It is a new, modern, more muscular design. It's very sophisticated and it has some distinctive details, starting with this front area here. You can see that it is actually a little rippled, and it's sort of a design element so that it's not just a flat piece. And it actually, I think it looks pretty good. You've got your Chevy logo here, and then down here you've got that matte grille. I'm always talking about how they do matte down here, so if it gets dirty, you don't see it. And then of course you've got your chrome trim down below. When you're looking at this hood, it looks very much like a Camaro. It has that sort of rounded look to it, and then still having a muscular hood with shape. Taking a look at these lights, they're LED. This is your daytime running lights and your drive lights. The turn signals are sequential, and here these LEDs really stand out. Going further back, you'll notice that the turn signals indicator is also located inside the mirror. You've got your charging port here, which is really nice, and that is right there. We talked about charging during performance, so that's where it's located. As you go further back, you'll see it's got a nice chrome detail down here in black matte, again, keeping the car looking clean. And remember, it's a pretty big vehicle, and it has 3 inches more leg space. So because of that, you look like it's pretty large. There's also standard roof rails on this vehicle. You can see as it goes back here, this door is big, and it's designed that way so it's easier to get in and out of the vehicle, and it has a swoopy looking futuristic look. As we work our way across the back, I really like this almost like a wing, but it helps control the air. And of course, they got it right. They put the right style satellite radio antenna on this rather than some of the other odd ones we've seen. The taillights are LED, very cool. You get your Bolt EV. I like how they did the blue and the blue for the EUV, because it's about being clean and green. I like that, very cool. As you work your way around the back, you've got tons of this black matte back here. And the reason that you have that is because when people put their luggage in back or things going back, you're not scratching up the paint. So that was a pretty smart idea. There's no exhaust, obviously, but there is a piece here sort of replicating what it would look like, because we want you to feel comfortable in the vehicle. And that's kind of what they were thinking. Let's try to make it look like something people feel comfortable with. So when it comes to design, this Bolt EUV earns a 9. When you're looking at quality, it's more than just the paint quality, which is excellent, and the build quality of the panel gaps and the materials that are used. You're also looking at the interior components, the quality of those components, and the warranty. Now, there is an 8-year, 100,000 mile warranty on the battery, which is good because that's a lot of miles on a battery, and over an 8-year period, that's pretty much the life of these anyhow if they're consistently charging. When you're looking at the quality, 3 or 36,000 miles typical, but when you're adding in that battery warranty, I think it makes a big difference. So when it comes to quality, inside and out, and all the material usage, this vehicle earns a 9. Coming around to the back, you've got 16.3 cubic feet of storage. That's dipped down in here also, and there's adjustable levels so you can adjust the storage that you want. When you put these seats down, 60-40 split seats, you're looking at 56.9 cubic feet of storage. That's pretty good compared to the competition. You've got a lot of space because of the way it's laid out. When it comes to value for the Bolt EUV, it starts at $33,995. Now our vehicle's coming in around $43,000. It is fully loaded, and it's a first edition, so it's going to have all the goodies and special decals and special wheels, but that does elevate the price. Now don't forget, there is going to be tax credits available to you. Right now that $7,500 tax credit from the federal government is no longer available, but there is state credits. You might get one from your company, and that tax credit from the feds might be coming back. You never can tell, but always check with your accountant to find out where all those credits are, because you'll be saving even more money. When you're looking at this vehicle compared to the other cars in the category, when it comes to value, this Bolt EV earns a 9. The 2022 Bolt EUV has some big improvements. The Bolt EV is also improved, and they've really done a great job keeping the price at a reasonable point. The idea is to get people into electric vehicles at a comfortable price and feel comfortable that there's not something unusual about it compared to their daily driver. And they have done that when it comes to this General Motors product. You're going to see a lot of new product coming out, so if this is not meeting your needs, don't be surprised that more cool things will be coming out very soon as well. And if you're looking at this car with all 10 categories, performance, handling, safety, visibility, seating, technology, quality, features, cargo space, and value, totaling them all up, the Car Coach reports total for this 2022 Chevy Bolt EUV earns an 85. Now make sure to check out the competition. We've driven them all. There's a link down below, especially the Mach E, which isn't maybe a direct competitor, but it does stand out in the crowd. We want you to take a look at these vehicles before you make your decision. And of course, don't forget to check with your insurance company. Electric vehicles do cost more, and you need to know that when you're doing your budget. If you have any additional questions about this vehicle that I did not get to in this video, put it in the comments down below. I will answer them because I know there's a lot of information out there, and we don't want to set you on the wrong path. We want you to have as much knowledge so when you go into the dealer, you make the decision, because the dealer's going to try and sell you on that car, and we're going to try and empower you so you make great decisions. There's always more information and cool stuff coming out in the auto industry. You can follow me on all platforms at Lauren Fix. Also our podcast, Total Car Score with Javier Mota and Carl Brower. And if you're still looking for more additional information, check out our Car Coach Reports website. It's in English and Spanish, and we have some other contributors so that you can find all your information in one location. We have books there and other information that will help you have car smarts. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time.